Hey guys, I know this is a last minute pop in, but I just finished a webinar, an interview recording with one of the doctors that we're having on the Integrative Fertility Summit, which I just posted about on this page. So take a look at that. And as most of you know, if you've been following me for a while, I just wrapped up my latest book, which is called Body Belief. And it's about healing from autoimmune diseases and radically shifting your health, learning to love your body more. And I know there's been some concern, I think, for my followers that am I leaving the fertility spectrum? Or, my last book was Yes, You Can Get Pregnant, right? Here it is. And now all of a sudden I'm talking about autoimmune diseases, and it's something that's been on my mind, and I've been wanting to come on live and talk to you guys about it because the biggest point that I drive home in Yes, You Can Get Pregnant and in Body Belief and in all the teachings I do, my e-course, my online products, everything, it's all about the fact that your health is what we're working on, right? It's your health that needs to be in a state of thriving. And then from that place, whether it's you want to get pregnant in your 40s or you want to heal from an autoimmune condition, and I say heal, not cure, right? Those are two different things, so keep that in mind. Healing means that you're mediating, alleviating, learning to live with symptoms. You're improving quality of life. Cure means that you no longer have the disease, and that's never a promise that I or anyone can or should ever make to you. I am all in the mode of helping you heal. And so we had this Mark Sklar, the fertility expert and one of my dear friends and peers. We went to grad school together and have been practicing acupuncture for, I think both of us for 13 years. And we have strong fertility practices, and we love what we do, and so we created this integrative fertility masterclass, and we had a reproductive endocrinologist that you guys will hear from if you register for the integrative fertility masterclass, which is happening February 11th. But brilliant reproductive endocrinologist. He's also an MD, PhD with biochemistry, nutrition background. And we got into this whole conversation, which is exactly what I preach all the time, that this is about optimizing your health, and then your fertility will thrive from there. Your autoimmunity can heal from that place, right? And so understanding that these are not separate, and we tend to have, practitioners or doctors that we work with that, like most reproductive endocrinologists kind of look at you from the belt down, right? And they're just concerned with your uterus, your ovaries, some hormone levels, and that's it. And we're missing a whole picture here. I really want you to understand that the quality of your eggs is no different than the quality of all the other cells in your body, right? And so what I try to do with my clients is optimize health, optimize the function and the integrity of every single cell in your body, and that the cells in your ovaries that create the eggs that can then become fertilized by sperm and then become a baby are no different than the cells, say, in your intestinal lining, right? Or the cells in your hair, your skin, your nails, and that when you really commit to shifting your health, that all of that improves, and that nothing is separate here, and so it's always this question of, like, what can I take to improve egg quality? Like, what supplements should I take to improve my egg quality? And to that I say it's no different than supplements you should take to improve the quality of, the health of your intestines, right? It's every cell in your body needs to start thriving for egg quality to improve. They're not separate. And so to just begin to understand that, and to understand too, for me, the transgression from writing Yes, You Can Get Pregnant to writing Body Belief really comes from the fact that when I was researching everything for Yes, You Can Get Pregnant, I started to realize that most women dealing with fertility challenges are walking around with undiagnosed autoimmune conditions, or there's a level of autoimmunity going on in the body. What autoimmunity is the body begins attacking itself. The body begins attacking normal, healthy tissue for unknown reasons. And so some would say it's an hyperactive immune system, but it's really not that. It's kind of an immune system that's gone rogue. It's gone a little crazy. There's a misidentification going on. It no longer can recognize itself, and so it attacks itself. And when autoimmunity is happening in the fertility patient, what is happening is the body is now rejecting sperm, or it's rejecting an embryo, or the uterine environment is not hospitable to implantation, right? And so the cells are kind of on high alert, and they're attacking things that they normally wouldn't attack. Pregnancy is a real conundrum in the world of medical science. It's the only parasitic, and I say that from a loving place, but it's the only parasitic infection that the body doesn't kill off. And we still don't understand all the immune triggers that happen to allow for a pregnancy. And so what seems to be happening in our environment, autoimmunity can be triggered for several reasons, but the most founded right now is that we've introduced over 80,000 chemicals into our environment in the last 20 or so years. The average woman is exposed to 500 chemicals in one day with all the products that she uses. It is these chemicals that we suspect that are triggering this autoimmune reaction. And so what's happening is then you try to get pregnant, and an immune, agreement between the body and the embryo that normally would happen is actually saying, no, I can't, there's too many foreign things in my body. I'm just going to attack this as well. And it's not okay. It's, I can't bring this life into my body. I can't host this, or that sperm looks foreign, and it is foreign, but for some reason our bodies accept it. So the autoimmune system, or the immune system, is on, it's almost like high alert, I guess is the best way to say it. And so the program I developed in Yes You Can Get Pregnant was about, I want to say calming, but that's not the right word, about mediating the immune system, regulating it so that it doesn't attack, so that it's not on high alert to things that shouldn't be foreign, like an embryo or like sperm. I mean, there's even antibodies that women can form to their own ovaries, to their uterus. And so how to regulate that. And one of the best ways is, reducing inflammatory substances in our lifestyle and in our diet. And so anyway, with all that said, how I got from writing Yes You Can Get Pregnant to writing Body Belief, which is a book for women dealing with autoimmune conditions, was that it was a common leaping off point. Autoimmune conditions are affecting women in their prime, so their 20s, 30s, and 40s, women in their fertile years, 75% more than men. And again, since the 1980s, the incidence of autoimmune diseases has quadrupled, and affecting women more than men. So it's the same exact set of women that I'm talking to, right? Yes You Can Get Pregnant is for that woman that is specifically trying to get pregnant. Body Belief will be for any woman who's basically dealing with crappy health and can't understand why. Whether she was diagnosed with autoimmunity or not doesn't really matter. It's all about you returning your body to a state of thriving health. And then from that place, you will heal your autoimmunity, right? You will heal and become pregnant. You will heal and feel healthier every day. You will heal and stop, dealing with chronic infections or feeling run down every day, or brain fog, or gastrointestinal symptoms, right? That to understand this is the whole picture. This is not just, it's a great question. Are vaccines responsible for autoimmune issues? I mean, the jury's out, they do seem to trigger the immune system, which is what they're supposed to do. I think perhaps maybe we can inundate a body with vaccines, and that can cause immune systems to act wonky, and autoimmunity can develop. There's some sort of autoimmunity that's going on in every single body at all times, just like there's cancerous cells in every single body at all times. That's normal, that's nature, that's how it's supposed to be. And your body is trained to be intelligent enough to not let the bad outweigh the good, right? And then it's when it's inundated with, I think, chemicals from our environment. So I think vaccines can add to it, but I think the bigger issue is the pesticides in our food. That for sure is really screwing us up. And then the endocrine disrupting chemicals in all of our bath and beauty products. And I think if you eliminate those two things, then you could have the vaccines and you'd be perfectly fine. I think it's the layering, it's one on top of the other, the compounding that is causing the issues and the concerns. And so even in Yes, You Can Get Pregnant, when I'm teaching women to reclaim their health and optimize their fertility, it's about cleaning up their lifestyle, right? Getting rid of those chemicals. And then it's about eating nutrient-dense, fat-rich, protein-rich diet from good quality foods to nourish and hydrate and enliven our cells. And then from there, the fertility will thrive, but their health thrives, right? I have my Yes, You Can Get Pregnant e-course that I launched in December, and it's going to come out again in March. But in there, I have this quiz, and I call it the Find Your Kink in Your Health quiz. And it's really so we can stop focusing on am I getting pregnant or not, and more focusing on like how is my health? Like I have loose urgent diarrhea every day, or I have eczema that's covering my skin, or I have psoriasis, or my hair is really thinning and my nails are peeling, or I have really low energy, or I have insomnia, or I feel hot all the time. All of these symptoms that people don't relate or correlate and say, well, that has to do with my fertility, because they see it as it's two separate things, right? Like my digestion has nothing to do with my fertility, but yet it has everything to do with your fertility. Your digestion has everything to do with your health. If you're not digesting and absorbing your nutrients from the food that you eat, your cells can't thrive. That's it, point blank. So the cells in your ovaries, or the cells in your intestinal lining, the cells in your hair, your skin, your nails, none of that's going to thrive. So to begin to understand that you are whole, and then there's a whole other layer to this of the mental emotional component. We are so disconnected from our mental emotional state that doesn't leave a healthy breeding ground for anything to happen, especially fertility, right? So to understand that in Chinese medicine, the mind and the body are not separate. They never were to us, they never will be, right? That's the beauty of the medicine I practice, and that's the core of why I love what I do. But it's because that spirit, your mental emotional state has everything to do with your health. It impacts it on every level. And what I really get into in body belief, which I'm super excited to dive into, is that if the body is attacking itself, the body is no longer identifying with itself. Where are you not identifying with yourself on an emotional level? Where are you attacking yourself on an emotional level? And not that you're to blame for your autoimmunity or for your fertility challenges. That's not at all what I'm saying. But where are you not cheering yourself on? Where are you not supporting yourself the way you should be? And then that comes down to then you would incorporate these lifestyle changes, and you would take certain supplements, and you would eat healthier, and you would nourish your body with loving, kind, compassionate thoughts. If you understood how intricate the system is and how, or I shouldn't say if you understood, if you begin to understand, if you embrace the fact that we are whole, that we are connected, and that, as I say throughout Body Belief, and you guys will get to read it very soon, is your body hears everything your brain tells it. So, health is this really big umbrella. It is not, and it should not be broken up into, I see this specialist for my GI stuff. I see this specialist for my stomach. I see this one for my thyroid health and this one for my skin. And no, they're all connected. And so to achieve the thriving health that we desire, that we're longing for, is to understand that, the core of you needs the healing, and every cell in your body wants to begin to thrive, and every part of your emotional, spiritual being needs to be connected to you. You need to hear that conversation you're having in your head. Are you attacking yourself, or are you cheering yourself on? And then are you attacking yourself and then choosing to overeat on a certain food, or drink too much, or not sleep enough and go out on a bender or whatever? Like, how are you supporting and cheering yourself on every level? And to just really own that, I want to see your health thrive. And then from there, whatever you're trying to achieve, whether it's just waking up and feeling refreshed in the morning, or having a healthy formed bowel movement every day, or achieving a pregnancy that you've been working on for so long, that these things are not separate. And, part of the conversation we just had, Mark and I, with Dr. Magarelli was that none of us are in the business of getting women pregnant. That's really not, that's a bonus, sure. What we really want is healthy mom to get pregnant, have a healthy pregnancy, and bring a healthy baby into a healthy world. So, and healthy is mental, emotional, physical, nutritional, right? It's all of that combined. It is not separate. And I just want you guys to really take that in and keep that in mind, that your fertility is an extension of your health. Your immune system is an extension of your health. Your ability to function in the world, your relationships are an extension of your health, right? So how are you treating yourself on a daily basis, on an hourly basis? What are you saying to yourself in the privacy of your own mind? And so, Meredith, my biggest fear is that the high percentage of chromosome irregularities after 40. Sure, it's a concern. It upticks as we get older, but again, sorry, my phone was telling me the battery is low. Quality of cells. You improve the quality of your cells, you will decrease the chances of these abnormalities. That's it, point blank. Most of the trisomies, except for trisomy 21, which is Down syndrome, are age indiscriminate. There's a little uptick in, over the age of 40 in these chromosomal abnormalities, but it's not that significant. And also you have to think about the quality of the uterine environment and the quality of every cell in your body. So if you let that fear hold you back, and I say this lovingly, it's going to be hard for you to adopt a lifestyle that will actually, support you in creating the healthiest cells possible and overcome any, genetic abnormalities. And, that remember, the cells in your ovaries and in the follicles that you were born with, they're dormant in your body, and they get recruited about 3 months before you ovulate the egg that you could eventually become pregnant with. And those 3 months are really crucial for what exposures the cells in your body have and whether or not it triggers, these abnormalities to present themselves. Our genetics are not set in stone the way we once believed. And epigenetics is the bigger concern and the bigger influence on our health and what presents in our life and what presents disease-wise for us and what presents in the genetics of our cells is so epigenetics basically means you might have a genetic predisposition to something, and age-related issues can definitely be a genetic predisposition, but how you live your life determines whether those genes get turned on or turned off. And that's hard science. That is not, an Amyism. That is hardcore, 100% proved science. And so that means sleep, that means nutrition, that means mental, emotional stress. It means toxic chemicals in your environment. What are you exposed to? You reduce those, you have a much lower likelihood of anything chromosomally being wrong. Okay, I want one more child, but I haven't been able to conceive because of endometriosis and fibroids. Again, I challenge that statement. I get into the beliefs about our body a lot in my next book, and I do it a ton in the e-course as well, the Yes You Can Get Pregnant e-course. But that's, that might be true. That, a doctor looked at your uterus, told you have fibroids. They might have done a laparoscopy on you, and you were told you have endometriosis. But don't let that become your identity. You can overcome these things. There's tons of women that get pregnant with fibroids and endometriosis all the time. You can change the internal environment of your body. You just need to support it in the right way. And part of that support is love and kindness to yourself. Maybe I have endo, maybe I have fibroids, but I'm healing, but I'm feeling better, but my period has improved, my symptoms have changed, right? How are you supporting yourself? Are you cheering yourself on, or are you knocking yourself down? And don't let yourself become your illness. I see this all the time in the clinic, and it's a really challenging thing to overcome when I see someone completely identified by their disease, and so So work on that. Work on that conversation in the privacy of your own mind, as I say, and see if you can say it in a different way. I've gotten pregnant before. I have children. I would love to have another one. Maybe there's this endo and this fibroids, but I can change my life. And there's a lot of research that says if I eliminate all these endocrine disrupting chemicals and my exposure, I could reduce the fibroids and I could reduce the endometriosis. I can do things to regulate my immune system. Endometriosis is an autoimmune disease. I can do things to support my immune system. So, just think about this. Think about what it is we're saying to ourselves. And really overall understanding, again, that fertility is an extension of health. Health is an extension of health, immunity is an extension of health, and that none of this is separate, and that health is mental, emotional, it's physical, and it's nutritional. Mind and body are one. They are not separate. So tune into that conversation you're having in the privacy of your own mind. Say some nice things to yourself. Tune into how you may be misidentified with yourself, how I'm calling it in the book, like, is there a disconnect? How disconnected are you from the core of who you are? Are you stating your truth on a regular basis? Are you living close to, things that resonate with you, things that feel right in your heart? Or are you, at a job that you hate, and you wake up every day and it's just like Groundhog Day, and you're so disconnected, and then you come home and you watch hours of TV, and then you drink alcohol and eat chocolate to completely disconnect. That there's this sense of, where are you? Are you connected to you? And when you do reconnect to you, then you can hear that conversation. Then you can see the choices that you make on a day-to-day basis, and you can actually tune in and ask yourself, does this support my path, or is this going against my path? Or am I actually further bringing myself down? Lots of deep philosophical questions, but I was really moved by, this interview that Mark and I just did. And again, I can't wait to share it all with you. The link is on my page. I'll post it in the comments of this. But join us on February 11th for the Integrative Fertility Masterclass. It's going to be amazing. And we have 7 different experts. We're talking about 6 different topics. And then keep an eye out for my next book. But, really why I came on was I don't want you guys to think that I'm jumping ship on the fertility girls. Not at all. You guys are my heart and soul, and I love you. But that if you've worked with me or followed me long enough, you know how I feel. Health and fertility are one and the same. So I am working on getting you as healthy as I possibly can so that your fertility can thrive, or you can heal from whatever disease you are managing or not managing with. And, most importantly, so that you can come back into your body and love where you live. Because this vessel of yours is a beautiful, capable vessel. I want you to treat it with love and kindness and support it in the best ways you know how. And I'm here to help you find out those best ways. So until next time, I'm going to hang up because I have some people coming over for the Super Bowl, and I got to get to the food store and buy some nutrient-dense snacks. Okay, love you guys.